And you. Please go ahead.
My brother, for the purpose of those who do not know, he's my brother, my friend, and my pastor. I was in his church this morning, so we are. I like us to talk briefly about your presidential candidate, who is a man that has personally mentored me. He's a man I respect a lot. A lot of Nigerians respect him. But recently, a lot of Nigerians feel the Nuhu Ribadu of 2005, the Nuhu Ribadu of 2008, who fought corruption in EFCC, it's not the same Nuhu Ribadu that is running for president today. Why do they believe that? It comes back to the same factor of he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. While EFCC chairman, a man like Saminu Turaki, for instance, was a man who was probed by Ribadu's EFCC. And I served in EFCC. I did my youth service at the EFCC. And the case of Saminu Turaki's 6 billion naira alleged loot from Jigawa State was a case study at the commission in corruption. A lot of Nigerians were worried when they saw Malam Nuhu Ribadu. ACN was giving Saminu Turaki a senatorial ticket, and who was there to raise his hand? Malam Nuhu Ribadu. So,
when you finish,
how do you explain that?
When the question and answer are over, you collect the ballot. At what point are you?
Thank you.
Please go ahead and answer him.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Maize, right now, we want to crucify Malam Nuhu Ribadu for wanting to fix this country. Now, the reason is very simple. We've been complaining over and over that good people don't want to run for office. We were all here when the National Assembly did not pass the law when they were amending the Constitution for Nigerians to run as independent candidates. The only way you can run for an office in Nigeria is to run on the platform of a political party. Now, I don't know of any political party in the world where democracy is practiced that you will not see one or two elements that are corrupt. Although in some other parties, maybe like 99% corrupt people constitute some parties. Yeah, but yeah, it's a given. It's that there are one or two, even in Obama's campaign party, his governor was going to sell the seat. So it's corruption.
Time up.
Thank you.
You know, if you cheat on time, it's also corruption.
No question.
So time up.
Question.
Yes, question for him.
It's a simple question, actually. I want to know if it is you scratch my back and I scratch your back. Is the reason why a few years ago there was a case against Dame Patience Jonathan, and all of a sudden it's as if it didn't exist. I want to ask if it's the same thing for Tinubu, who at one point was an international crime lord, but right now it was a person whose crime was in international quarters. I don't know if it's the semantics or selective amnesia. I'd like you to elucidate.
Yeah, but one thing I want to educate my debaters up here, allegations, anybody can write any petition against anyone. Anybody can do that. It is the job of agencies like the EFCC to investigate, to know if they have cases to answer. So anybody can sit in his bedroom and write petition to the EFCC that one Dame Jonathan stole X amount of money. And you go out there and investigate, and the case is not established. Do you say because her name is Dame, she must go to jail? So that is addressing the issue of Jonathan. And for Bola Tinubu, the same thing with Turaki and in other parties. They have a right There is no individual that can pronounce anybody guilty, except a court does that. If the justice system is not doing their job, then you don't expect Malam Nuhu Ribadu now, that is a private citizen, to go and take people to court. When he was in EFCC, he dragged these people to court. The system could not find them guilty. What, do you want him to call them guilty when the system has not called them guilty? I don't know what you are talking about.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we are really very, very... well. Okay. Even though I intended taking 3 people, but I will accommodate you. Please go ahead.
It's a simple question for ACN.
Who are you asking a question to?
I'm asking to ACN.
ACN,
yes,
go ahead.
Yes. Nuhu Ribadu was accused of selective justice whilst he worked for the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. The PDP government, what gives us the assurance that if he works, that if he becomes the president tomorrow, May 29th, under ACN, he will not do the same thing?
Yeah, thank you very much, Uche. I've answered this question 1,001 times. If you want to wash your clothes in your house, when you have a washing machine, you don't, because you have a washing machine, you don't put all your laundry in it. You sort them out. It's simple. This thing we do them every day. One thing you must understand, the law established in the EFCC only prescribes certain courts where cases can be held. And the courts in Nigeria are not infinite. There are a fixed number of courts. Judges have cases to answer. So when cases arise, you treat them in the order of priority. Is it possible? And one thing people did not know is that when Nuhu was at the EFCC, he had a little over 1,000 people working for him. A little over 1,000. Do you know the number of petitions that come to the EFCC every day when he was there? Because of the faith people have in him? Because the other system were not working? You don't expect him to take everything at once and do it. It's only a madman that will have a bowl of rice and put everything in his mouth at once. This guy will take them one after the other. So I don't know what you call selective justice.
All right. Thank you very, very, very much. And I think we are through on youth development and corruption. Now we move on to women affairs. Of course, you can see there is a constituency that is well represented. And it's said that the rights of women in society, as enshrined in the constitutions and several laws, are not being well observed in Nigeria. And the several affirmative action statements that we have heard are also not being observed. That's concerning a whole lot of people. Now, in the light of this, what would the administration that each of you speak for do to preserve and uplift women's rights and welfare? This time we start from ACN.
Thank you very much, sir. Malam Nuhu Ribadu recognizes the fact that the women of Nigeria form the bedrock of our society. They are very critical in its plan to take Nigeria to greatness. And in the light of this, he's going to ensure that all the international treaties that Nigeria has entered into in time past, the Beijing Declaration, the Ouagadougou Accord, and all the various accords that have been passed that Nigeria is a member of, is going to ensure that we give action to these plans. Because in these documents are the aspiration of the Nigerian woman. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel when they already showed you the path to take. He's going to ensure that the women of Nigeria, beginning with the girl child, because the girl child that you don't educate today will become a vulnerable teenager tomorrow, that will become a powerless woman next tomorrow. So he's going to go back to ensuring that the rights of the great child, the girl child, to quality education, such that the Nigerian woman will one day be fit enough and strong enough, not only to be president of Nigeria, but to aspire for any position, both at the United Nations and beyond. Because you all agree with me that right now we have a Nigerian woman managing the World Bank. If every Nigerian woman is exposed to the same level of opportunity that our able World Bank MD has when she was growing up, today Nigeria will not be where we are. We all know the feats that the likes of Obieze Kwesili, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and even Madam Navdak, the kind of things that they've done in this country. And that is what will form the bedrock of our government.
Time up, time up. Thank you very much. CPC.
We all know how important women are. I thank God for my own mother. There's a statement in English language that says, woman without a man is helpless. The same statement, if properly punctuated, says, woman without a man is helpless. Now, I believe for my two candidates I'm representing, General Muhammad Buhari and Pastor Tunde Bakare, they have something very interesting about them. In Buhari's family, men are 20% in his nuclear family. Bakare owes his life to everything that his mother did for him. In this administration, under the presidency of General Muhammad Buhari, women will be given due consideration. In what ways? One, we are ensuring that constitutionally the rights of women are protected. Two, we are promoting a practice to ensure that in the National Assembly, a minimum number of required seats will be reserved for women. We are ensuring as well there is adequate representation for women, there's empowerment, there's support, because at the very personal, physical level, even in the lives of these leaders, women are important. So in Nigeria, the way we have it, and the way it's always been even in our nuclear homes, is that when we allow our women to be empowered and to bring their own energies and talents to bear, we can have a better country.